Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Gert. I'm the founder and CEO of SEOleverage.com, an SEO agency focusing on online businesses, course creators, coaches, and membership sites in order to help them get more traffic to their website, get more members to their communities. And today I'm going to check out raindance.org, an amazing membership site and content site we discovered the other day. And we want to dive in a little bit better in detail and see what they're doing really well, where they could improve, and what learnings can we get out of this from an SEO perspective. So if you're interested in SEO and get hands-on experience, check this video out. So when you open up this website, there's a lot going on with the video animation on top, and a lot of options here, directly price points for memberships, locations, festival, film schools, courses, members, articles, a lot of things going on here. Probably for my taste a little bit too much. Let's dive into this a little bit more. At the beginning of checking out a website, I always want to get a little bit of a feeling of how it's structured, what kind of content do they present, and what kind of issues and elements we might be looking at. So now that I have an overview about the website, I really like to head over to Ahrefs, get an idea what their organic traffic over time has been like. So we can see between 2019 and 2021, little has changed. We see a big drop lately with it. This is probably the June, close to the June. It started a little bit early, but in the June update, definitely things went down. July seems to be bringing it up a little bit more, but there's definitely a lot of things that need to be fixed. Seems like we are getting back the top rankings we had here, but definitely quite a few things to check out. When we check where the traffic really comes from this site gets, we see they have very good ranking here for short film ideas, for example, a film school, and all their brand strength there is definitely here. We can see the main keywords. Obviously Raindance almost has 2,000 searches itself, but then we also have quite a few very interesting terms driving traffic to the site, 2 different URLs. We see there is not a huge dependency on 1 or 2 URLs. There are definitely 20 very strong URLs driving major traffic to the site. And what I don't see though is anything really specific to the membership, anything to the courses, etc. These are just terms probably that mostly happen to rank without any specific intention here. There is no major traffic driver that would indicate that we are attracting a potential client with a more transactional like term here. Next, I want to see what comes up in Google if someone searches for this brand. Let's search for Raindance. Let's see what comes up here. We see an unoptimized title here. Probably there could be something with filmmaking, etc. on the homepage. Festival, filmmaking, the site links are there, the knowledge panel is here. Obviously it's a very strong brand. And then we have some additional content. Let's see, Film Freeway, Instagram, Raindance Film Festival comes up. Okay, so this is definitely makes sense in this case. So the next one on Google would definitely be raindance.org. Let's see what kind of pages Google has indexed here. We see the homepage with the unoptimized meta title here. We can check out meta descriptions. Not necessarily is it always what was configured. Sometimes Google just grabs content from the website to show it here. But this is just so important that I keep stressing this because people just completely ignore meta descriptions. We still see a lot of success when optimizing these texts to make more compelling meta descriptions and really stick out from the SERPs. So don't underestimate that this has a lot of impact, not on rankings itself, but on the click-through rate you can get for a ranking. Google sometimes then may ignore your meta description and put up something else, but in many cases you can still increase the click-through rate by optimizing this kind of text. Okay, here we get a little bit of an idea what this is about. We see tag pages, author pages. Maybe author pages in this case could be really useful to have indexed on other websites. Author pages are sometimes the first thing we want to reconsider. Also tags very often are to be reconsidered because a tag page usually, if you imagine you're a user and you search something in Google and you come to a tag page, even if Google happens to rank this, which first of all I already doubt, not only because of the rendering issue here, but it's also not really corresponding to any search intent. Why should Google put up a tag page unless you search for content around the tag of athletes, for example? Okay, so tag pages very often, if you check in Google Analytics, you're going to see they hardly perform. Sometimes they are not even prepared on the theme, like here. Apparently, they seem to have an issue. So the best probably would be to get rid of those here. So when I checked out the first, the top ranking pages before, I noticed many of those were articles. So I definitely want to check out the articles section here. Here in the menu, we have article success stories right for us. The right for us is something you probably want to slowly reconsider, because this just means that a lot of the content that's there is probably written by someone else who might not have enough experience, might just do this for the sake of the links, etc. So I would probably get rid of this at this stage. Let's check out one of the articles, how to use music that affects viewers' emotion deeply. This is a great topic. I really like this topic. Sound of Silence. Okay, we have got a teaser image. We have got the author that's linked. We have an intro, we have subsections. So there are a few things probably that could be done better here, but it all depends on what you really want to do with it. If you really want to rank this in SEO, you first of all want to be really sure what the actual search intent is. So music affecting viewers' emotions could be like the main keyword or theme to optimize this for. You want to check on Google what comes out, what kind of content comes out, and then produce something similar. I personally am more a fan of having the teaser image a little bit down below and having 1 or 2 paragraphs of text on top, because the content above the fold is just really, really important. Above the fold means before we actually start scrolling. Then if you scroll down, what I really like on more and more sites, we are seeing this now, Wikipedia has been doing this for years, is to have some table of contents on top. So if I'm really only interested in teleporting the audience to a different zone, I could just click on this, it would take me down, and I could read this article. The second thing I'm missing here a little bit is to make it easy to skim the text. So if I highlight a few keywords on every paragraph in bold that give an idea what this is about, it's going to be much easier to skim this text. It's going to lead to a lot more user engagement, and is going to make sure that people can really make a conscious decision what they want or don't want to read, which ultimately improves their experience. We also see that most calls to actions, if not all call to actions, are really in the sidebar. 2 things to consider here. One is that very often people are pretty much blind to the sidebar. They pretty much ignore what exactly is there, because it's usually only ads. The second thing is that on mobile phones the sidebar is not going to be visible anyway, so you're going to be stuck with the content. Even if you were really, really interested in the Filmmakers podcast, for example, you wouldn't discover it probably unless you really scroll very, very far down. One possible solution for this would be to pull the call to action inside the article once in a while. So it could be one for the podcast, there could be one for the membership, for example, for the courses, film school or so. Depending on the length of the articles, after every 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, there might be a bit of a button or something like this that could lead people down different paths in case they are interested. So I think this would be a way to definitely leverage articles more for SEO and also for conversions. When we check out articles, we see, okay, we have a video embedded here, which is nice. Again, sub-headlines, table of contents, formatting would definitely be important, and probably also maybe considering adding a second image somewhere to really avoid these big blocks of text, which makes it really tedious for someone to consume. It looks like really, it takes me a long time, I need to read all this. If there was an image that's supporting a little bit the story, the location, the shoot, etc., it would make it easier for a user to consume and could probably lead to better engagement metrics as well. Here's something I noticed when I go to locations. I'm not sure why the online courses are here in locations. Should rather be in courses, probably as online courses, but anyway, in locations I'm seeing London, Toronto, Los Angeles, Dubai. Okay, and then I check where this goes. Most of them go to the .org domain where we are, but then we have, for example, I think it was Dubai, that leaves the domain and goes to ACUK/Dubai. Definitely a domain change seems to have its own website that kind of emulates the main website but in its own way. So for SEO purposes, you're essentially talking about two different websites rather than one. And then in these cases, you also want to make sure that you consider the hreflang tags in order to make sure that Google, from a code perspective, can discover that this page targets a certain demographic, or okay, if people are really just interested in it, but the demographic is still going to be the UK, then this could be fine. But then we have again, when we go back to here, the locations, and we talk about the hub menu in a moment. When you talk about Paris, for example, this is clearly not targeting people in the UK specifically. So the targeting, geo-targeting, I think definitely needs to be considered. On the other hand, I've got here a hubs menu, and here, for example, I would be missing Dubai, if I remember this correctly. Not sure if anything else is missing. New York is here, Los Angeles, Vancouver as well, so this should be good, but Dubai would be missing on this other one. The online courses, as I'm saying, I don't think they should be on locations unless this has been tested and seen that this really works at this place. I would expect people to search it under courses and have online courses here at some point, or maybe under film school, wherever, but locations usually is really just a list of the locations I can go to and then get more information about those locations. And then the question is really, who is this targeting? Is this targeting someone in UK, for example, or in general interested in this location, or is this someone who should be in Los Angeles here, for example, and is interested in rain dance, in which case we definitely need to make sure the targeting is correct. Now let's go back to Ahrefs. I really like to take out the positions 11 to 20. Most of the times the page 1 is showing between 8 and 10 search results, so 11 to 20 is definitely something that should be coming up on page 2 of Google. You might know that there's no better place to hide a dead body than page 2 of Google. They say this is a place where nobody looks, so everybody wants to be on page 1 in order to get traffic. If you take what is ranking right now on position 2, on page 2, so on this site, we see URLs that have very high potential to make the jump to page 1. One, for example, is movie scripts with almost 7,000 monthly searches. How to make a short film, 800 searches, is sitting in the middle of page 2. With this brand and this brand's history and so much relevance in this space, it might only be a matter of updating, refreshing some content, being a little bit ahead of the curve and say, okay, what do my people really want? See, this is an article from 2012. If they update this and give this and put this in better shape, make sure this is updated, this is pretty much going to jump to page 1 right away. So I think there's a lot of potential. Also, this is a URL that already has 15 domains linking to it. Most of the links here are looking very, very naturally. So it's really just a matter of consistent focus on content, improving the content that's there, and then making sure that we can leverage this potential to drive more traffic and more leads and sales to this website. So this was a quick round around raindance.org. I think the site is amazing. There's so much content, so much potential to really get tons and tons of relevant traffic to the site, brand exposure, people for their courses, memberships, and festival and different locations. It's more a matter of organizing the content, making sure this is user-friendly, bringing this back into the current year based on users' expectations. They have been shifting quite a bit in the last 10 years. So if we still see articles showing up on page 2 with a really improvable presence, I would say, in presentation, definitely there's a lot of potential. So absolutely big shout out to Raindance. This is not an official audit. I just found the site interesting and wanted to share my thoughts. But if you think your site could be interesting, head over to seoleverage.com/SEO Audit and get my team and myself on your site, taking out your website on a deeper level and giving you specific insights about what you should improve, and give you an action items list based on impact and effort, so you work your SEO based on the priorities that are actually making a difference. My name is Gert. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.